Well, what a difference a few inches could make. Difference between happiness and unhappiness, I guess you'd say. So you look at the football game, the inability to score in the red zone creeps up on us again. You know, third one, not getting it or whatever it is, got to kick a field goal, throwing a pick in the red zone. You know, got to play better against the pass. I mean, they made some plays down the field, I felt, but we're on them. Tough situation on the third down penalty at the end of the game, crucial penalty, I guess. So you got to look at that. But our guys played hard. On a positive note, our guys played extremely hard, competed. Congratulate Arizona State. They played hard as well. They made some plays. I was very impressed with their quarterback and their wide receiver number 1, Harry. Both those guys played extremely well. Big play by them in the third quarter. But game of inches when you look at if Raekwon Williams can scoop up that fumble. You know, I think it was 13-3 at the time, so, you know, good things are happening. You know, if we don't jump off sides on the punt and they rough the punter, we're going to continue to keep the ball. So, you know, it's a tough situation in that regard, but all of our goals are in front of us, as I told our football team. So, got to regroup. Everybody's got good players. We played a lot of good football teams. We've got good players too, and we'll compete and get ready to play our next football game. So I'll take some questions.
Mark, and as they're coming down and the seconds are going off, are you trying to do the math on when you let them in versus?
Yeah, we were trying to do the math. We were going to let them in. We were going to let them run in, but they chose to down it. But we got too tight.
Even earlier on that at any point? Or?
No, not earlier than that. I thought if it's a 30-yard field goal or something like that, they got to make it. But I thought that. As I said, as it got closer to the 2:15, but if we were going to let them run in at 3 minutes, I thought that would be a little bit too much.
Mark, I know it's only the second week, but the red zone issues, how concerning, and have you been able to pinpoint some of the specific reasons you guys are having trouble with them?
Well, they're short yardage situations. Obviously, I think the interception, we had a guy open, a guy tipped it, and a guy made a play. But yeah, they're concerning. They're always concerning. You want to score touchdowns. There's no question about that. We've been down there some. So, but for me to say what was the problem, without watching the film, I don't think would be appropriate, really. But you got to score touchdowns. You get down there. It's tough to win a game with 13 points. Tough to win a game when scoring 16 points. You're always in the game. One play can flip the game. So, last week it was different. We need to play better. I thought they threw the ball very well. They had us on our heels. We got pressure some on the quarterback, but we got to sack him. He got out of some sacks. They had some sacks. Usually that's a direct result of winning and losing, what I've found. So, red zone's concerning.
Mark, the sacks, the inability to consistently run the ball when you had to run the ball to get a first down, and some of the penalties up front. How big a concern is that?
Well, the penalties, you got to go back and look at those. It's always concerning when you have penalties. Probably some of them are legit, some of them are in question, but that's always the case, and that's why they have the referees out there, officials. So I'm not going to second guess those guys. But, it's everything. When you lose by 3 points, you can point your finger at little things, everything. And, it's a completely different situation if we come in here and we win 16-13. Everybody's happy and we're moving on. But that's not the case. So you got to take both ends of the stick. We've won a lot of close games here, and this one we lost. And it's disappointing how we lost it because I thought, they had 2 third-down conversions. One was a penalty, and the other we lost back in the flat in man coverage. But they forced us to get on them and play man coverage, which I thought we played the deep ball very well, with the exception of one play. But one play can do it sometimes when it's a close game. If we stop the run, they got 20 yards of rushing or whatever, 25 yards rushing, but they had some plays down the field, which they're going to, But you got to give them credit. Again, got to go back to their quarterback and say, did he create? Yes. Did he make plays? Yes. Did he stretch the field? Yes. And then you got to look at how we played things. Usually it comes down to some technique things, and I think lack of pressure probably. They got out on us at times, and our zone pressures, they had answers for that.
Mark, you guys, 3 quarters, a little over 3 quarters, playing pretty good defensively and offensively. moving the ball. It seemed like
Yeah.
the fourth quarter everything's stagnated. How much did the heat kind of wear these guys down?
No, I don't think the heat was a factor at all in this game for us. I think we were well conditioned. I never saw anybody really cramp. One guy cramped over on the sideline. He was back in after a play or two. But I don't think the heat was a factor at all. It wasn't that bad really. Compared to last week when we played just the humidity as opposed to the dry heat, I don't think it was that big of a deal.
Question, two guys, LJ went out and Jake Hartbarger had what didn't look good there. How worried are you about those two guys?
Well, you're always concerned when they go out, but I think both will be okay.
Mark, on your first scoring drive, you had runs of like 10, 7, 6, nice chunk plays to get down there for a field goal. Considering that was the second drive of the game, you guys were running pretty good. Were you surprised that the run game dried up kind of for the rest of the night? And what did you put your finger on what?
Yeah, everybody makes adjustments somewhat. So again, it's hard to say until you watch the film what exactly happened. But we had some big plays. We hit some plays. But we just didn't score the touchdowns. I mean, we scored one touchdown, but kicked 2 field goals. So again, it's a game of inches. I mean, we've been there before on the other side of the spectrum. So, but I thought our guys played hard. I thought we played with confidence. I didn't think we backed off or got shell shocked or anything like that. It was a great crowd, great environment, great representative of Michigan State by all the Spartans that show up, and so you feel bad about all those people coming from all that distance, whether it's California or wherever. But I thought they saw a good football game and we competed, so go from there.
Mark, can you give an update on 3 guys, Tyreek Thompson, Cole Chewins, and the third guy?
I don't know, who is that third guy?
Jacob Panachik. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Well, obviously Jacob and Tyreek did make the trip, and Cole got dinged early. There you go. There's an update.
Do you feel like Cole is going to be?
I think he could have played. He just tweaked it. I mean, I think he started the game, but he just tweaked it.
Mark, did you see these offensive line troubles in camp too, or has this maybe surprised you a little bit?
Well, you got to look at it and say again. There are so many different people involved in running the football, protecting the quarterback. There's the backs. There's the fullback. There's the tight end. There's all these different things. So it's hard to say whose fault is it. I know human nature is let's pin it on certain group of guys. Let's just say it's Michigan State football and leave it at that.
Mark,
Okay, and coaching especially.
on the 2 late sacks back to back, it looked like they had 2 guys and the running back had 2 guys he had to block, and on the next one someone came in unblocked. Did they do anything new or?
Again, it's hard for me to say without seeing the film, but we were chipping the edge guys some with their backs to allow, to help on the pressures. In other words, chipping and then releasing. And some other times we weren't. Sometimes we would gap it, turn everybody back. Sometimes it's man protection. So it's all about which protection it is and what's coming in that protection. And it's all about decision making too at the quarterback position too. So sometimes, you got to find a guy quicker. You got to find your hot read and those type of things at times too. So there's a lot going on out there. Sometimes the protection, we played a lot of empty protection. They bring a guy, you throw the ball hot. So one guy's unblocked, you throw it hot and things work. So there's a lot of things going on out there that I think that you have to look at and evaluate on the film, which we will. But again, I'll go back to say it's tough, but we played hard. I thought we competed. Very proud of our football team, how we came and how we represented and how we handle ourselves in both wins and in defeat. That doesn't get you the sticker, the gold star, but we represent and we'll come to play, and we will continue to do that. I know that we'll continue to do that. I don't worry about our football team. I don't worry about our leadership. I don't worry about us going away. It's just, hey, it's tough out there. So that's what it is.
You guys, we got Brian outside. We got time for one more.
Do you feel like it's a good time for a bye week?
It's a good time for a bye week. Yeah, got some guys dinged up in a little bit, so it's a good time for a bye week.
I feel like a lot of the same things came up from last week again. We talked about too many penalties. I think it was 9 again. You had a double-digit lead in the third quarter, chance to maybe put the game away, and just it was a repeat of everything again. And kind of the same.
Yeah, it's tough to look at it, in that perspective when you're not watching the film and seeing it all put together. But like I said, you got a chance to scoop up a fumble or fall on it, and we're on the 20-yard line. If he scoops it and scores, everybody's, it's 20-3. I think that was the time. I think we were up. I can't remember for sure, but things are happening fast out there. You just, you're trying to deal with it and trying to make good decisions. Same with our players. Things are happening very fast on the field. They're trying to make good decisions. The inability to score touchdowns, the inability to we had some penalties. I think some of them were forced penalties, were penalties that were in the course of the game. They weren't unforced. But some of them hurt us. There's no question about that.
6-3.
Yes, we gotta wrap this up. We got a couple guys.
It was 6-3 when the fumble.
6-3 when the fumble occurred. So.